What is going on, everyone? Hope you're having a great day. We got about 5 minutes until the college football playoff selection starts. Do I really have to sign in to do the chat? But yeah, I really do think SMU is going to get left out. I really do. I hope I'm wrong though. See what you guys think. We'll see what you guys think. For real. Down. Let me get the chat back up in OBS. And I guess we will move this over here. What up? Yep. I think we'll also get to see where Tech plays in a bowl, so that should be interesting as well. What's going on? Colby, good to see you in here. Nico, man, Matthew, Bama has to be out. I think Bama's going to be in. I really do. The only thing that makes it difficult for me, like I thought if SMU got blown out by Clemson, like it looked like was going to happen in the first half, then they might use that as justification to bump SMU out and put Alabama in. But SMU losing by a field goal makes it a little more difficult for them to shoehorn Bama in. So we'll see. What's going on, T Branch? Yeah, I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. Are there any other surprises we can see? Is it just a consensus now that Miami's out? Is that just like we all agree on that? Sucks if Bama's in. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Ready to watch this madness. I agree last year that they left FSU. You agreed that they left SMU out? I'm trying to see if let me clarify. Man, Matthew, you agreed them leaving Florida State out last year. You thought that Florida State got hosed. SMU has to be in if we're not doing college football. I agree. I'll wait till some more other people get in here. We'll do it now. I actually recorded a video to make a statement about this, but I thought, you know what? Most people who watch my channel probably aren't even aware of it. Obviously, if you watched the stream last night, we had a situation in the Discord where someone said something extraordinarily heinous, and I'm not going to repeat what they said. But if you're not aware or you're in the Discord and you did not see, that person's been banned for life from the Discord, and they've been banned for life from the YouTube channel. So it has been handled. I've actually locked the Discord down where no one else can join it now until I have time to kind of sit and think about the best way to go and do that. But that situation has been addressed. Anyways, so let's talk about this. I mean, I know that's kind of a stinky way to start this selection process, but I wanted to address it on a video at some point. So SMU should be in hands down. I agree. And it's not even about at this point who you think should be in or who you think deserves to be in. It's consistency. If SMU's ranked ahead of Alabama last week, the only difference is one played and lost a conference title game. And they said they're not going to punish people for losing conference title games. What are we even talking about? What are we even talking about, right? Now, I said last night on the stream, and I'll say it again here. I think when they said we're not going to punish conference champions or people for losing their conference championship, I think they didn't complete the sentence. And what I think they meant to say was they are not going to punish the SEC team that loses a conference title game. I do think they're going to hold it against everyone but the SEC. That's just my personal opinion. Do I have Bama in? Again, I guess I should just say, like, who would be, I would not have Bama in. No. I do not have Bama in. Do I think they're going to end up at that 12th spot? You bet your ass I think they're going to end up at that 12th spot. Will the ACC not have a first round bye now? No. They can't, right? Because Boise State won. Boise State was ranked 10th. How can Clemson jump? I mean, I know it's a group of 5 team, but how can they jump them in the rankings? I guess you'd say, well, they beat the 8th ranked team. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think Clemson gets a bye. Nor do I think they should. I mean, hell, say what you want about Boise State. They probably have the best player in college football. Or they have, at a bare minimum, the best offensive player in college football. Ashton Genty is a freak of nature. And not just him. Shout out to the Sun Devils. What was it? Scooby-Doo? Scooba-Dooba-Doo? That running back for Arizona State, Christian Sea-Dog and I were watching it yesterday. And we were like, my God, this guy's an absolute animal. Animal. Scataloodoo? Yeah, Scataloodoo. That's his name. Ruby Roo. Boise State strength of schedule is doo-doo. That's true. But at this point, this is my thing. It's the consistency. It's where were they ranked last week and being consistent with that. So if their strength of schedule is doo-doo and that trumps a lot of stuff, then they should not have been ranked in the top 10 last week, right? That's all I'm saying. Give me 1 second. I got to pour this out. I love you. Down a little bit. Okay, yeah, you can put them on your stuff you want. Yeah. And I'll come look. Love you. All right, I guess we've started here. ESPN politics all the way. I mean, look, I don't really want to get into massive conspiracy theories, but like I said last night, like when there's money to be made by cheating, or not even in this instance cheating, but putting your finger on the scale, like it's going to happen. It's going to happen. They also consistently bodies their opponents, so they won like they were expected to. That's true. If you're a group of 5 team, all you can do is beat the fool out of people in front of you. But also you probably need to have a very, very strong out of conference schedule or non-con schedule. They've got Nick Saban on here. He was what was he talking about that I just disagreed with? He was talking about the flag planting. I was listening to something and he's like, I just don't think, that it's very sporting to do. Am I wrong, or has that been happening for a decade now and only last week was it an issue with people wanting to get in their feelings about it and fight? And then he talked about protecting their brand and stuff. Weird. It's not sporting. Yeah, I mean, like, I was kind of surprised that he took, that's the way he took it, or that was his opinion of it. Okay, now for some reason, YouTube TV, is trying to be an asshole. There we go. Let me put on closed captioning. Oh, here's Nick talking about strength of schedule. What we really need to do in college football, and probably learned a little bit about that this year, is actually just make the SEC the only team that gets in the playoffs, right? And then you just have the best teams in, and that's my opinion on it. Alabama gets a home game. Well, and look, I don't want it to become the NFL. I do think, again, how do you avoid a lot of this? Just have very clear criteria. Okay? So, like, this is going to sound messed up because it's very BCS like, but reducing stuff to numbers and like factoring in strength of schedule and win losses, and it spits out a number or something that ranks you in here. What's going on, CJ? Texas planted the flag at Oklahoma, and Baker Mayfield himself said that's college football. Yeah, Nick Saban doesn't agree. By the way, did y'all see Kirby Smart whining and complaining about his schedule last night? That was weird to me. That was weird. Called out Sankey for their strength. You know, some years your schedule's going to be tougher than others, and Georgia has benefited. They haven't really had to travel and played, you know, like more than one tough road game in a year and a while. Like, come on, dude. That's the luck of the draw. It's how it happens. There's no, I mean, he's 11-2 now. Like, it just is weird that, you know, to his credit, he ran it -2 games, which is impressive. And then he wants to complain about it. Like, I would use that to dunk on people, not to complain to my conference commissioner. It was just bizarre. Also, the guy who does college football addiction and double slaw no fries, I saw him on Twitter before this bitching about Kirk Herbstreit. He's a Florida State guy, and I had to tell him what's up. Octavian in the house. What's going on, Octavian? Good to see you in here. And you'll get to see where I would love to play Florida in a bowl. I don't think it's going to happen. In fact, I'm about 98% sure we don't play Florida in a bowl, but I would love to play Florida in a bowl, Octavian. And if we do, we would have to have you on to stream it together, right? Like, we'd have to stream Yard UN or something. There'd be no other way. Let's just get to the thing. I'll tell you what I think. Why is there Braille in drive-thrus? What's the deal with that? Let's just get to the picks. Yeah, I see Pinstripe Bowl. I don't, you know, there's a bunch of new predictions where that, like, I think SMU being in changes things. That's another thing. From the Tech fans' perspective, like, whether SMU is in or out affects the bowl that Tech is going to play in. It probably benefits Tech for SMU to be in. I saw a projection, Georgia Tech, Florida in the Birmingham Bowl. That would be, yeah, I've seen Oklahoma. I've seen Nebraska in the Pinstripe. Trying to think of all the things I saw. The warts. Are they talking about warts, or does the person who does the closed captioning not know what they're doing? I mean, we can go ahead and fill some of these in, right? Oregon did win the Big Ten, right? I mean, I was really, yeah. Oregon's going to be the number 1 spot, so we can go ahead and fill that in. Right, we know what that's going to be. And then 2 is probably going to be UGA. I mean, we'll see, but I don't see where how it couldn't be. So 1 and 2 will be, 1 will be Oregon, 2 will be UGA. I did see Arkansas, but I think that's possibly changed. Yeah, I think we can go ahead and fill this in. We know 2 is going to be UGA. 3, 3's Boise, 4's Arizona State. Arizona State's 3 or 4. That we do know. But I'm going to wait. I mean, I think we can definitively say it's Oregon 1, UGA 2. 3 Bama. Yes, very reasonable. Very reasonable. 3 will be Alabama. They'll get a home game. They're actually going to get 2 byes. They're just going to fast forward to the national title game. They'll play whoever. The playoff will be to decide who plays Alabama in the national title game. Resume comparison. So we got Boise State, who's 12-1, Arizona State's 11-2, Clemson is 10-3. Strength of schedule, Clemson has the best. But here's the thing with strength of schedule. If you play a tough strength of schedule, but you don't beat any of the good teams on your schedule, now they did beat SMU, but you see what I'm saying. Does it really matter? Guys, there's some, if you want to do some gooning while we're waiting, there's some ladies on here that are goon material. Goon material. And I know there's some gooners out there. It is so tragic that South Carolina is going to get left out, and they are going to get left out. Just based on last week's rankings. Not only can South Carolina point to refereeing, which we know is kind of a no-no to blame refs. It doesn't look good, looks weak. That's one of the few instances where you can look at refs and say, not only did you cost us a game, you most likely cost us the playoffs. You just joined the stream and I'm talking about gooning? Yeah, dude, of course. Do you see Katie George here? She's on the screen. She's on the screen right now. Live from Temple, Arizona. I'm actually partial to Arizona State. They have a really good physics program, and I like Lawrence Krause. Molly McGrath's nice, too. Clemson reporter. I think we should rank these reporters in order of who we would goon first. You know? Because what else are we going to do? This is going to take forever. It's going to take forever. I see. That's cool. Is it true SMU brought that pony all the way to Charlotte? Now they're comparing Alabama. Here we go. They're comparing Alabama and SMU. They're comparing Bama and SMU. They're going to drop SMU and they're going to put Bama in. I'm telling you right now. Which there is an argument to be made for that. The problem is where SMU was ranked last week. That's the problem with this. So if Alabama, was ranked ahead of SMU last week, then I'd say no problem. But what Bama was 11th and SMU was 8th. Or what was Bama last week? Were they 13th? Or they were 11th? Where do you rank Alyssa Lang? Is she 3? Rambling on? From Tuscaloosa, Alabama. They were ranked 11th. So then who do they drop SMU out to put in? Ole Miss? Does Ole Miss get in? That would be insane after all the crying Lane's done. How much will that strength of schedule hurt SMU? I mean, it's not great. They have a garbage strength of schedule. Again, the issue is they were ranked ahead of Alabama last week, and they said losing your conference championship game would not be held against you. All right, you're going to bump Alyssa to number 2. Boy, they're spending a lot of time on SMU. They're spending, and look, you got to think about this. Like, this show was planned out, you know, to the T ahead of time, right? So very interesting that they're talking a lot about SMU right now. It's also interesting that no one's talking about Miami at all. I guess it's just a consensus. Well, the thing is, we know Miami's out, actually, because Katie George has won. I can get down with that. Because Clemson won. Clemson winning knocked Alabama out, or Miami out definitively. No watch party means Bama in 100%. Quint gets bumped to number 1. Okay. I need someone to keep up with our reporter gooning playoff ranking. Yeah, SMU's problem is that the two best teams they played, the only two quote unquote good teams SMU has played, they lost to, right? In BYU and Clemson. But also, they said they weren't going to hold it against you. Or do they put Florida State in and make up for last year? The swerve of the century. If you thought the Hogan heel turn was something, 2024 college football playoffs where they put a non-bowl eligible 2-win Florida State team in. Oh, me. And then you could have DJU in the playoffs play Clemson or something. I don't know. And then TJ from College Football Addiction couldn't cry anymore. I've heard his tear ducts actually were overworked to the point that they fell off. The best for them would be to put the Georgia Tech graphic in there for Georgia as the number 2 seed. Or you just put Georgia Tech in the playoffs. Who was it? It was the Arizona State coach. C-Dog and I were talking about this. That was saying, we're 11-1 when our starting quarterback is playing. And we saw last year what they did to Florida State. So if you just consider when our starting quarterback played, we're 11-1. And then I'm thinking, well, damn, Haynes King's been hurt most of the year. So what's our record with Haynes King? We should be in the playoffs. Oh, me. That is true. If you want to talk about embarrassing losses, Vandy. Now, I get Vandy's much better this year than they have been. But Alabama should not lose to Vandy. Ever. Ever. And then you got walked up and down the field by Oklahoma. I kind of feel like South Carolina should be in over Bama. But Alabama beat South Carolina, right? Did they play? Alabama beat South Carolina. Let's look at South Carolina's schedule. Got to sell advertising, folks. Got to sell this advertising. So, South Carolina lost to LSU, who's ranked 16th. And the truth is they didn't really lose to them. That game was stolen from them. They lost to Alabama by 2 points. And they lost to Ole Miss. They got destroyed by Ole Miss. Who have they beat? They beat Clemson. They beat Missouri. They beat Texas A&M. So they beat 3 ranked teams. One of them's a top 10. Does South Carolina have a better resume than Alabama? Let's look. Let's look at Alabama. Alabama beat Georgia. And they beat LSU and Missouri. Alabama, they probably have a better resume. But they lost to Tennessee, they lost to Oklahoma, and they lost to Vandy. Their losses are definitely worse. Their losses are definitely worse. All right, we all understand the format here, ESPN. You know what? It's going to be 1 o'clock before they start this thing. How long does this show go for? How long is this show scheduled for? And here we go. While we wait, let us on to talk. I don't want to do that, but I will read what you put in the chat. It's too much for me to keep track of while I'm trying to like update the rankings on my screen and everything. Or I would. I mean, it's a good idea. Oh, me. Come on. Yeah, I mean, Indiana. What's Indiana's strength of schedule? Like 100? Is this official? They got Oregon at 1? BYU versus Bama. Who has the better strength of schedule? I don't know. Georgia at 2. All right, we got Georgia at 2. As expected. As Kelly would say, as I predicted, as we predicted. Who's going to be 3? Arizona State, Boise State, or Clemson? There's no way it's Clemson. I think we can set Clemson aside. Let's see who's at number 3. It should be Boise State. I agree with that. Man, that's crazy if that is the case. In the first college football playoffs, a group of 5 team gets a top 3 seed. But their strength of schedule is 81st. Who did they lose to? Who did Boise lose to? Not sure. All right, give me the number 3 seed. They lost to Oregon by 3. Okay, it is Boise State. Wait, they put them at 9? They put Boise State at 9? All right. Oh, but they get one of the buys. Okay. I guess we'll put buy in here. So they get one of the buys, but they're a 9th seed. Arizona State gets the other one. They'll be the 12th seed, but they will get a buy. All right, so the 4 teams that get buys: Oregon, UGA, Boise State, and Arizona State. All right. I guess I didn't understand this. 9 is their real ranking. Playoff, they are 3, though. Oh, so I need to put them up here? Would that make more sense? I guess so. Yeah. This is going to be confusing for how they've done it. All right. Who's going to be 5? What's going on, Seminole Seth? So 12 will be Clemson. So their true rank is 16th. Their playoff rank is 12. It's interesting how they're doing this. All right. Well, we knew all these teams were in. I feel like you should get an auto bid for winning a conference by. They should give buys based on ranking. Yeah, I mean, I have to look at kind of how they decide this criteria. Texas. So Texas will play Clemson, and Texas will get the 5th seed. And you know what? I'm not high on Texas. I think Clemson could win their first round and play Arizona State, and I think they could win that too. I think Clemson could make it to the semis. So they did not punish really Texas for losing their title game. And they did lose in overtime. I'm not impressed with Texas's offense at all. At all. Clemson at 12 means SMU is out. I don't think that necessarily means that, though. I'll be honest with you. Penn State will get the 6th seed. Okay. Where were they ranked last week? So Bama is out, right? I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. Who's going to get the 7? Bama will be 11, you think? I don't have any. I don't have any.
Can I use my fingers?
I don't have anything to eat it with.
Can I use my fingers?
Well, I'm getting new ones. Notre Dame will be the 7th seed. We'll just put in D. Yeah, you could probably does it really matter? I guess it matters for who they play. We'll see if we think Notre Dame gets a tougher game. All right. So we got Oregon, UGA, Boise State, Arizona State, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame at 1 through 7. We got Clemson at 12. It's going to be interesting. Probably the most interesting part of all this is going to be the first one out. Give me 1 second. Ohio State at 8. Ohio State at 8. Give me 1 second. Here. Where you go? All right, did I miss one? We got Ohio State at 8. Yeah, I did not miss one. Sorry for that. I agree. SMU should be in. Had they been beat, they should not. What? Yeah, we haven't seen SMU yet. This is interesting. Tennessee at 9. So we got 1, 2, 3 SEC teams, 1 ACC team, 1 group of 5, 1 independent, and 1, 2 Big Ten teams, right? So we got Clemson will play Texas in the first round. Tennessee will play Ohio State in the first round. And we're about to find out who Penn State and Notre Dame will play. I don't know who to pick, Tennessee, Ohio State. That'll be interesting. Yep. We only got 2 slots left now. And there's no Indiana. And there's no SMU. And no Bama. I think the analysts like the SEC. Shocker. Yeah. All right, give us this 10th seed. Is it going to be SMU? Is it going to be Bama? Is it going to be Indiana? Will you see Ole Miss sneak in here? By some miracle, would you see South Carolina sneak in here? Indiana at 10. So Indiana will play Notre Dame. Ooh, I think I'd like to play Indiana if I'm Notre Dame. Probably as opposed to whoever NC State's going to play. So they do leave Indiana in, and we only have 1 more spot. No SMU, no Alabama. It's going to come down to SMU and Alabama, and I'm telling you guys it's going to be Bama. I am fairly confident it's going to be Bama. Georgia Tech. They got them up. Look, they teed it up in the beginning of the show. They're trying to justify putting Bama in over SMU. Wow. How can you put South Carolina as a key win for Bama when they're out? Here we go. Let's see what it's going to be. What's it going to be? Who will Penn State play? Who will get the last spot? Will it be Bama or SMU? It's really down to Bama and SMU now, right? I can't see it being anyone other than Bama or SMU. Oh, they're milking it. SMU played in a conference title game. Alabama did not. And they said, we're going to see if I was right. If they punish SMU, and they do put SMU in. It is SMU. Bama is out. SMU will play Penn State. All right. So they're men of their word. That surprises me, but it is the right thing. So Clemson will play Texas in the first round. Tennessee will play Ohio State. SMU will play Penn State, and Indiana will play Notre Dame. The winner of Indiana Notre Dame will go on to play Georgia. The winner of SMU Penn State will go on to play Boise State. The winner of Tennessee Ohio State will go on to play Oregon. Boy, that's a tough bracket right there. And the winner of Clemson Texas will go on to play Arizona State. I think Notre Dame has probably the easiest first round, but the winner of that goes on to play Georgia. All right. I wonder if SMU hadn't made the comeback last night, if it's a different story. Yeah, I mean, I do think if they got blown out, it's probably Bama in that last spot. I want to see who's the first one out. Has to be Alabama, right? Gotta be Alabama. What is Nick saying? Is Nick bitching about strength of schedule? I mean, you got to think about the fans, man. You got to think about the fans. I couldn't disagree with Nick more here. Like, again, if you really thought Alabama was a better team, they should have been ranked higher last week. Yep, they're going to start bitching about it on the broadcast. The comeback SMU made saved them a playoff spot. Absolutely saved them a playoff spot. Yep, and Nick is bitching about Bama not being in. As I predicted. No, I predicted Bama was going to be in. Boy, how pissed are Florida State fans right now. Get ready for Twitter to blow up with dumbass FSU fans. I mean, man, we're better than SMU was last year. We got left out. So Kurt's talking about it. I think my daughter just said. Okay. I think my daughter just said, damn. I wonder where she got that from. Well, I'm probably going to see who's the first one out here. I do want to see, like, how long are they going to go on before they say who's the first out? Because I got stuff to do. Georgia Tech in the playoffs give us UGA again at a nutrition site. Alabama didn't even score a touchdown against a barely bowl eligible team. That is true. Type about that, Nick. What put them out of the playoffs? I mean, let's just call it what it is. It has nothing to do with the fans. It has nothing to do with, we got to think about what makes good games. Is Oklahoma a good team? Is Oklahoma a good team? No, they're not. You couldn't beat Oklahoma. Not only could you not beat Oklahoma, as someone just said, you couldn't score. You barely could score against Oklahoma, and you got drug up and down the field by Oklahoma. People who think this guy should be the commissioner of college football, I think I might have even said that before. I was out of my mind when I said that. This guy's going to shill for Bama. I mean, he works for Bama right now. He's like he has some kind of role for Alabama right now. He makes like, I don't know, a few $100,000 a year to come in there and give him his opinion on stuff. I'll have to go back when I can listen to this and see exactly what Nick said. You don't understand. Oklahoma would actually be undefeated if they weren't in the SEC. Oh, yeah. That's the thing with these guys. Like, you have to go to all these hypotheticals. Well, if we weren't in the SEC, we'd be undefeated. If we wouldn't have to play these teams in the SEC, we'd be undefeated. Well, we all want a lot of stuff. I'd like to get, laid by Jennifer Aniston. But we'll see who gets lucky first, I guess. Win-loss over 500, they're 5-2. Key wins, TCU and Louisville. Duke and Pitt. I get what you're saying with their resume. Again, they should, if that's how you felt, they shouldn't have been ranked 8th last week. Should not have been ranked 8th last week. Bulldog Brian says, say it with me, injuries don't cost your team's games. I've never said they did. I'm assuming you're talking about Gunnar Stockton. Who, by the way, I'd have to find the clip. I said I liked, of all the quarterbacks on your roster, the most. Even when Brock Vandergriff was there, I said, what's up with Vandergriff? He's not that good. I don't understand 5-star billing with him. I don't, Give me them splinters. Can you just tell me who the first one out is and just say it's Bama? We can all ring it in. Like, do we get bowl selections too? Do we get bowl selections? Bama was first out. Miami was second out. Okay. So first out, we had Bama. And we'll do this. For the production value, baby. For the production value. Second was Miami. Boy, Miami's down bad, aren't they? Miami's down bad. No, Bama, Georgia is winning it again. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Just because they're, you can't beat Bama. You think you're going to beat Oregon? That's the thing with you Georgia fans, You should be worried about the fact that you don't have a run offense, that you should, even with ETN. Texas doesn't run the ball. They just throw it 40 to 60 times a game. I think we're back to pinstripe versus Nebraska. Well, all right, guys. I think that'll do it for me. So we're all aware of it. We knew Oregon. We knew UGA. Then it came down to the 3 spot. Who was going to get that, Boise State or Arizona State? It ended up being Boise State, which is probably right. Arizona State's a tough team. I would say don't sleep on Arizona State. They could surprise some people this year, and they get a first-round bye. 5th went to Texas, 6th to Penn State. I'm not. I'll be honest with you. I would not be scared to play Texas or Penn State, just to be honest with you. Notre Dame's a tough team. Yeah, they lost to NIU. They've dominated since then, though. Ohio State would be another team that I'll tell you how down Ohio State is. Ohio State is so down, they want to lose in the first round. They want to lose to Tennessee so they can fire Ryan Day without having any, argument against it. In fact, I would take Tennessee in that game. I'd pick Tennessee over Ohio State. I'm not that impressed. I wouldn't be scared to play Ohio State or Tennessee. Indiana is what they are. SMU is a tough team. SMU's scrappy. I like SMU and Clemson. We'll see though. So I appreciate you guys coming in. Georgia might have to play Texas 3 times in one season. Yeah. And I think you beat them again if you play them again, to be honest with you. I'm down on Texas. No excuse for Texas not being able to beat Georgia playing them twice. None. But that's your rankings again. Clemson gets in at 12 with an automatic bid. SMU slides to 11, which is interesting. First out Alabama and second out Miami, who no one cares about. Talk about the collapse of a lifetime. Don't win the ACC. Then they said, "Oh, well, it doesn't matter that we didn't win the SEC or the ACC because we're going to be in the playoffs," and they're not. And honestly, they don't deserve to be. So, It is what it is. Hope you guys had a great time in here. I'm sure we'll talk about it. We'll do entire shows on it, and we'll talk to you guys later.